Hi. I was thinking about all the times I use my musical instruments at story time and thought maybe it would be a good day for a show and tell because it's raining outside. So maybe I'll pull out my instruments and do a show and tell with you guys, and then we can come back and make some instruments of our own. Sound like a good idea? All right. See you in a moment. These are my percussive instruments. A percussion instrument is an instrument that you strike, like a drum, or an instrument that you rub, or an instrument that you shake. It's the heartbeat of music. It keeps the time. And so I have a lot of fun, different percussion instruments. This one is one I use in story time when I want to make magic. Doesn't that sound like a magical happening? Got a lot of different rattles from around the world, depending on the country it comes from and the materials available to those people. An instrument is going to look different, but they're all going to work the same way. You shake it, you rub it, or you strike it. So those are fun rattles. Maybe you're getting some ideas for ways you can make rattles at home. There are also different types of drums. This is a talking drum from Africa. This is an ocean drum that my older daughter gave me for Mother's Day last year. It's got beads inside of it. So when you tilt it, the beads roll across. And you can mimic the sound of the ocean. Isn't that awesome? This is really fun to play with. Yeah, when my grandchildren come to visit, my older granddaughter always makes a beeline for my percussion instruments, and she hands them out to us, and we all jam together. This is called a twirl drum, and you could make your own twirl drum with paper plates, ribbon, beads, and a pencil. And you just roll the pencil or stick so that the beads strike the drum head on either side. And that's a really fun one. So those are drums. This is a Native American instrument. It's called a rain stick. And when you turn it, it sounds like rain. Traditionally, these were made out of cactus, and the pointy part of the cacti would point inside so that when they built the instrument, they would fill it with sand or rocks, pebbles, something like that, and the cacti points would impede the flow of the filler material so that as you turn it from one side to the other and that material cascades down, it makes a very soothing sound. You could make your own rain stick out of a mailing tube or a Pringles can and some rice, and you just need something to slow the travel of the rice. And that could be paper. It could be the plastic rings on soda cans, just crammed in there, but just make sure your container is clean before you start making your instrument. But that's a rain stick. This is based on an instrument from Japan that I made. I made it from pieces of wood I cut into the same size sections, and then I drilled holes and strung them with beads in between as spacers. So when I lift one end, they cascade against each other in sort of a domino effect. And I don't know, I just thought I ought to have an instrument that I could wear as a necklace. And so I made this one into a necklace that I could wear, because every girl should have an instrument around her neck in case of emergency, right? I know you've seen my little animal instruments that my children gave me. Once again, the sound is made by rubbing, setting up those vibrations, which do produce the sound. And some instruments are tunable. Some percussion is tunable. There are tunable drums. This is a kalimba or a mabira or a thumb piano because you play it with your thumbs. And mine is plays 1 octave. It's actually tuned to the notes do, re, mi, or C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. And here we go. And I could play a song on it. Let's see if you know what this song is. That's right, You Are My Sunshine. So I got this one when I went to Jonesboro, Tennessee for a storytelling festival. It's made with a gourd as its resonator to pick up the vibrations and amplify the sound. So there you go. So anyway, percussion instruments come in all shapes, sizes. Go forth and have fun with percussion. And let's go look at some stringed instruments now, okay? These are my stringed instruments. I have 3 ukuleles, 1, 2, 3, and I have a guitar right here, and I have a banjo. Actually, hiding in the back is a mandolin that belonged to my big sister when she was in high school, but I've never learned to play that. Maybe one day. So the ukuleles are probably my favorite of the instruments. We circulate ukuleles at the Avondale Library, so with your library card, you could check one out for 3 weeks. Take it home and learn to play it. And you could even renew it if there's not a hold. So all of the ukuleles have 4 strings. And all of these stringed instruments are going to be built the same way. They all have a body, which is a resonator. It picks up and amplifies the vibrations that you create when you pluck a string. They all have strings. The ukuleles have 4 strings. Good cats eat anchovies. They are tuned to a certain pitch. G, C, E, A is what a soprano ukulele is going to play. You can turn the tuning pegs and tighten a string. And if you make a string tighter, the vibrations are going to travel more rapidly up it. And so you're going to make the pitch higher when you tighten that string. Here we go. Let's listen. I'm tightening it. And then I'm going to loosen it. There we go. You can also make the pitch of a string higher by shortening the string. So with this A string, if I use my 3rd finger on the 3rd fret, 1, 2, 3, I can change that A note to a C. And that then creates a chord, the chord of C. So if you want to play a chord, there you go, that's your first one. So all stringed instruments have tuning pegs so that you can tighten or loosen the string to create the note you need. They all have necks with fretboards that help you know where to place your fingers to create a certain note or pitch. They all have resonators to amplify the sound of with the vibrations. And they all have a bridge, which is where the strings end on the bottom of the instrument. So that's the traditional soprano ukulele. This is a banjolele. It's called a banjolele because it looks like a banjo, but it really is a ukulele with its 4 strings. It's tuned the same as the soprano ukulele you just saw, but it sounds much pluckier because the resonator is made out of basically a drum head, and so it's very plucky and fun to play. The 3rd ukulele is actually called a baritone ukulele. It's the largest of the ukulele family, and it is tuned to like the bottom 4 strings of a guitar. So it has 4 strings, but it says do, good boys eat. And you can play the same chords on a baritone ukulele that you would on a traditional soprano ukulele, making a lovely chord. This ukulele belonged to my dad's father. He bought it in the 1940s from a Sears Roebuck catalog. It's a silver tone, and it's made of mahogany, and so it has a really rich, mellow sound to it. You'll find that when you're looking at instruments, the material that makes up the body is going to determine the sound. So if you have a really rich, resonant wood, you'll have a much more mellow, beautiful sound than if you have a composite body. This is my guitar, and instead of the 4 strings of a ukulele, it has 6 strings. And it takes a little more time to learn how to play a guitar than it does to play a ukulele, because with those 6 strings you need a little bit more hand strength, a little more coordination. But this guitar is a lovely guitar. The larger body of this guitar means that it's going to amplify the vibrations from the strings a little bit better. So it increases the volume of sound, so it makes things louder. The larger the resonator or the body of an instrument, the louder the sound is going to be, generally speaking. The banjo could be the exception, because the banjo, the resonator is made of a different material, and it's really, really plucky and really, really loud. So I always say the banjo has 5 strings, but really it kind of has 4.5, because this 5th string picks up halfway up the fretboard or the neck. So it sounds like this. That is really, really loud, and you can see I like to paint my instruments. So those are my stringed instruments. So let's go on into the kitchen and take a look at some wind. So the wind instruments are the 3rd type of instrument. We've seen percussion and we've seen stringed, and now we come to the wind. And wind instruments are made with air. So there are just the fun little toy sort of wind instruments. This is a bear that my baby Beth gave me. You blow into a hole in its behind to make a sound. Is that the silliest thing you've ever seen? Makes me laugh every time. I also have an elephant that works the same way. And these actually just have little noisemakers inside of them when you blow on them. The owl is hollowed out on the inside. And so when I blow into the hole here, the air is going to reverberate inside, creating the vibrations that make the sound. And so it sounds like an owl. Isn't that neat? This is a panpipe. Native Americans made these out of bamboo or reeds, and they're hollow on the inside. They're plugged at the bottom and open at the top, and so you don't blow into them, you blow across them to make the sounds. Isn't that fun? So that's a panpipe, and I have seen tutorials on YouTube where you could make these out of straw. Kind of cool. This is a harmonica. And a harmonica, you make noise by either blowing out or sucking in. And so you can play different songs with a harmonica. You might do something like the Itsy Bitsy Spider. love the harmonica. That's a really fun instrument if your mom or dad will buy you one. This is a slide whistle, and you play this by blowing into the top and then moving a plug up or down so that you shorten the tube. And the shorter the tube, it changes the pitch of the sound. So slide whistles are really fun. You might have heard these on cartoons. So anyway, those are my wind instruments. I don't have many of them because I don't use them very much. I think that now we are ready to make some instruments. Are you ready? All right, so we're finally to the point where we get to make our own instruments. Now, I know you have instruments at your house. You probably have pots and pans. You might have xylophones. I know you have your hands. And I know you have your voice box. So these are instruments that you can make from things around your house, though. And so this is a stringed instrument, just like the guitar, the banjo, and the ukulele you just saw. It's going to have a resonator or a body. In this case, my body or resonator is a solo cup. And it's going to have a string, which is a fishing line, a nylon fishing line. And what you're going to do is you're going to poke a hole in the bottom of your cup. You're going to string your line through that hole and then tie it to a paper clip. And so when you pull the string through the cup, that paper clip keeps it from coming out of the cup. It keeps it secure. Then you're going to take the popsicle stick and tie the other end to the stick. So you have a string running from the resonator to the head of the instrument. Put the resonator under your arm like this, and then pluck the string. Now, the more tightly you pull the string, just like on a stringed instrument, the higher the note you're going to get. Looser, lower note. Tighter, higher note. So there we go. La 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 la, I can sing a song, whether it's one note or two. So anyway, that is your stringed instrument. And you could decorate it with stickers if you wanted to. To make a percussion instrument, you could get a water bottle. Make sure it's clean and dry, and then put some popcorn kernels inside it, or some rice, or some beans. And the different type of material that you put on the inside is going to change the sound of the shaker. But then you can shake it. You can strike it. You could even rub it with a stick, because mine has ridges on the side. And you could use your percussion instrument to sing a song like, gonna shake, shake, shake my sillies out, shake, shake, shake my sillies out, shake, shake, shake my sillies out, and wiggle my waggles away. So, have fun making the percussion. And then the last type of instrument was the wind instrument. And so for the wind instrument, we're going to make toilet paper kazoos. This is an instrument that was invented in the United States of America. Yay! And so to make ours, we're going to need a toilet paper roll and some wax paper. And you just want to cut a small square of the wax paper, enough so that you can very securely cover the end of your toilet paper roll. You want to pull it really tight so it's like a drum head, but make sure there are no holes in it. But pull it really tight, and then use some masking tape to secure it all around. Make sure that there are no open edges where air can escape, because you're going to be humming into the open end of this. And when you hum, the vibrations that you make when you hum, ooh, are going to be picked up by this resonator, which is the wax paper. And so you hum like this. And so your whole family could make kazoos, and then you could do a fun song together, a kazoo concert. Maybe you could do something really silly like Yankee Doodle on the 4th of July. You could decorate it with red, white, and blue and then play. So these are just some very simple instruments you can make, but this is the wind instrument, the percussion, and the string. And I hope you have fun making your music, and I can't wait to see and hear you. Bye.